Hi, I'm Travis. I'm 26 from Fort Worth, Texas. This is Financial Audit.
Welcome back, sir, to Financial Audit. I've been excited to talk to you. Now, for Financial Audit follow-ups, I like to go in clean. We do have an analysis that was done by other people, but I like to go in unknowing because I want to see how you've made your progress. And I'm very excited about you. You were someone that the audience loved. You were someone that we all loved and we were rooting for here. And I mean, right out of the gate, there was an addiction issue. And when you were leaving the show, you were headed to get onto a plane to fly out to California to go into rehab, right? Is
Yes.
that what it would have been called? Okay, yeah. So out of the gate, I would like to know how that went.
So the rehab was at Lake Arrowhead, California. It was called Serenity Lodge, and I was pretty upset whenever I found out that it was all male rehab because I didn't get to see any women for like 42 days.
Rip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. The first 3 weeks I isolated, in the same way that, you isolate an addiction. I isolated while I was in rehab, and it came time for us to be able to have a family therapy with, my girlfriend and everything at the time. And whenever we did it, she was not in a place where she was really able to have that sort of conversation doing family therapy. And I found out on that phone call that she had relapsed. And,
I'm so sorry.
So kind of my whole reason for getting into sobriety, kind of lost it. And that's really what kind of set a fire under my behind to be able to actually focus on what it means to learn to be sober and to go through the whole recovery process. And kind of because of that moment is kind of what has pushed me to be able to actually handle it, this far. I was in inpatient treatment for 30 days. Then after that, we switched to PHP, where I was there for 12 days, which is like an off-site rehab type thing, but you still go to classes every day and that type of stuff. And then whenever I got out, I got into intensive outpatient, and I completed the intensive outpatient program, and then I switched over to standard outpatient. And so I still go to outpatient rehab once a week for a 3-hour class. And then I also have 1 hour therapy every week with a counselor. And then I've recently started seeing a psychiatrist to be able to make sure that all my meds and everything are right.
And how has it been so far? In the last, let's say, month, how have you been?
So in the last month, I struggled a bit more with some kind of depression. It was a little rough at the very beginning of the month, which is why I really went and saw the psychiatrist. But all in all, life has been great in terms of everything that has happened and changed for me. Like I ended up going to a new location for my job. I'm no longer on the night shift. I'm working days. And, right now we're in line for promotion. We're learning all the skills and everything that we need to do to be able to actually go and manage my own store. And so, I couldn't ask for really a better life at this point.
Wow, so the work they were very sympathetic and they were working with you on this?
Yeah, they were working with me on it, and they still work with me so that way I can make sure I go to all of my outside meetings, all of my outpatients, everything.
And about the girlfriend, are you guys still together? How is she doing?
So after I got home, I picked her up from the hotel that she was staying at because she was no longer in the sober living house. And she stayed at my house for about a week and then said that she needed to go to a detox center. And so she went to go detox. And while she was in there, she found a different rehab to go to. And she went to that rehab, and I did not hear from her pretty much the entire time that she was there. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. But then I did finally get a phone call from her. And she gave me the great news that she completed her 4th and 5th step, which in a 12-step program, those are some pretty important ones. And whenever she said that she finished it, she said that she can't be in a relationship with me.
Okay.
And I completely understand. Like, I get it. They say don't be in a relationship for your first year of sobriety.
Really? Okay.
Because, you just got to focus on yourself.
Yeah,
you know, everything that it has to do with sobriety is very intrinsic. You got to really just be there for yourself.
So I promised that I would pay your 401k loan, which was $1,700, if you've remained sober. By the end of this episode, we will find out if you remained sober, and we will get there. You consented to a test before this, which obviously we would have needed to do a test to make sure that you're not sober. But I have a question, but I'll save that towards the later bits. So You're a Whataburger manager, $60,000 a year with quarterly bonuses. And a lot of people, by the way, in the comments were like, oh, people can't make this kind of money doing a Whataburger manager. In other videos when I was like, hey, you should consider working for Whataburger, and people are like, oh, they can't make that kind of money. And I'm like, I've literally had, you're not the only one. I've had like 3 people on the show who are making that kind of money as a Whataburger. But so obviously just lots of debt, and you got into a car crash literally the day before you came on the show.
Yep.
What's your transportation situation now?
I do have a car. I got it for $4,000.
Wow.
It was a 2001 Honda Accord.
Okay.
And unfortunately, because it's too old, I can't have any wraps put on it that I did for the advertising like last time.
Yeah, you're getting $80 a week from that, right?
Yeah. But, you know, it's reliable transportation. It gets me where I'm going, and I'm actually able to learn how to do like my own mechanic work on it since it's not a hybrid.
Okay. How has your financial situation changed, if at all? You were in rehab, so I wouldn't expect it to change. I would expect interest to accrue. And normally for most follow-ups, I'd be like, but you were literally taking care of your health, and that was the number one thing. And that's what I prescribed you, was to take care of your health before your finances last time. Mm-hmm. So what are we looking at?
So I have a sponsor in my 12-step program, and he says the same thing, that I can't worry about my finances. I can't do the future tripping. Okay. Because I need to focus on maintaining my sobriety and staying sober.
If you're not sober, man, then you're headed into an early grave, and the finances don't matter at all. So the finances for, yes, a lot of the people on the show, they are one of the most important things in their lives. But when it comes to literally like surviving and being addicted and just, you know, ending up in a ditch somewhere at the end, that is number one all day, every day. So, I mean, that is fair. Now, I know last time we didn't get to making a budget, and that's because there was no point in making a budget. You were headed to rehab for quite a long time, but you're out. So let's take a look at your finances, and let's take a look at next steps. But we do need to take into account, especially what your I'm sorry, what are they called again? I'm just blanking on the word you used. Your partner in this.
Oh, I mean, she's not with me.
No. You're
my sponsor.
Yes, okay. That word escaped me. You know, especially if they're more in the situation of like, you know, less future planning, more staying sober. Does it make sense still yet to even look in the future financially? So I want to make sure, again, we're putting your health as number one. I don't give a shit about anything else.
In recovery, they say just take it one day at a time. And so, yes, we can plan and I can work from a budget, but I shouldn't make that my priority in terms of like missing meetings, so that way I can DoorDash to make extra money, or taking an extra shift. And if that means that I'm not going to places where my recovery is the most important thing. Okay,
agreed. 100% agree on that. For a lot of people, you know, I like to show them the overwhelming situation of their finances and overwhelm them, so they feel that like that weight of the reality that they didn't see before coming on, so they can get a fire lit under their ass and get their because that's what works for me, and I'm only going to do what works for me. But that is not what works for this situation. But let's go through. Let's get a picture. I doubt it has changed much from last time, and that is okay, because what matters most is your sobriety. So Wells Fargo. It's a credit card?
Yep.
The only wagon you should fall off, right? It's the Wells Fargo wagon, right?
Yeah.
That's a joke that I have made before, and it was funny. That's okay.
Maybe funny that one time.
That one time. Second time, not great. $4,781.34. Wells Fargo before was basically the same. Technically, because of the minimum monthly payments I've been going through, it's down a little. Well, you did do 70. This is where I usually go, are you doing $77 purchases? Well, we're keeping tame this episode on purpose, because we are not overwhelming ourselves. That is okay.
So I can actually break your heart a little bit. I did have that credit card down to $2,000 at one point, because I had gotten all the money from not working and everything. But with getting the new car, I did do some work on it with another alcoholic. And he was showing me how to do it. And so there was some stuff that needed to be done that couldn't be cash flowed. And
well, no offense, Sir Travis, Chili's does not work on a car.
Okay.
For $45.
I thought I had a gift card to Chili's. It turns out it was Applebee's. And so that's where that came about.
This is when I would normally yell, But we are not yelling. This is a yell-free episode.
I'm so thankful.
You've been blessed. Oh, total interest charge this year so far alone is $214. Ruined my entire life. Wow, that's a 20% interest. Imagine if it was worse. Okay.
Yeah, I tried calling the bank to see if they could do a lower interest rate because I heard that if you're trying to pay down debt, sometimes banks will allow that. And they said this is one of the lowest interest rates that they've seen on any of their credit cards.
Probably Wells Fargo. $130 minimum monthly payment. It's kind of rough.
And it's currently at just under $4,000. I've made quite a few payments on it.
So it's at $4,000 now.
It's at $4,000 now.
Good. Apple Card, $73. So really not even a balance. So you just pay this off normally?
Yes, I pay that one off. I really only have a couple of reoccurring bills that would usually go on that.
Yeah, you didn't have the debt on that last time either.
Yeah, that one I've kept low and everything gets paid off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a part? Okay, so this I'm genuinely curious about this one. A part of the program and stuff, they're saying focus instead of just going hard on this, which I agree, focus on the mental health. Does it in the day by day addiction, making sure we're not falling back on it? Does it make sense though to go outside of that and still spend money on things like Little Caesars, White Horse Vapor? Do you still smoke?
No. It's one of those, I'm on the total abstinence program. The only thing that I'm allowed to smoke is nicotine.
Yeah.
And I've kind of recently picked that up. Everything that I've been told, like from my sponsor, is like, look, if you smoke, keep smoking.
Because that would just be quitting so many things, right?
Yeah, just a lot of change, just be able to handle what you have kind of at the moment. And I was really struggling with just having that desire for the oral fixation because everything that I was addicted to involved smoking. And so it has gone down, like the amount. But yes, I have purchased vapes.
Okay. Well, I want you to live longer. But again, if this prevents you from the really bad stuff,
yeah, I'll say Little Caesars is not a necessity. I definitely was sitting outside of it whenever I was actually thinking about like getting it. And I was like, should I do this? I was like, because I know he's going to see this.
There's also like a Microsoft Ultimate thing in there. But again, if you're sitting there playing a game and that is preventing you from doing the bad stuff, it's, this is completely different than the normal conversation.
Yeah, I've actually been really surprised that if I do decide to play a game, I can actually play it a lot longer now than I could whenever I was in active addiction.
Wow, really?
It used to just be like 30 minutes. I'd get bored with it, turn it off. And so now it's just a bit more useful. But
so what's the First Mark services again? That was private student loans.
Yeah, that's private student loans, but it's on
really
auto payment.
Much, but it's gone down a little from the auto pays, but the interest is obviously just kicking ass on it. So it's right now $22,730.80. It was $23,000, and it's at almost 12% interest rate, which is normally I feel the squeak inside of me. I feel the high voice, the yelling inside of me, but I am full contained. I'm in a 12-step program of yelling right now.
They probably do have meetings for that. You just got to look it up on the internet. They got them for everything.
Okay, so yep. We're continuing that. Good. Advantage Classic student loans, right?
Yeah, that is the federal student loans.
It was $18,000 at 5.5%. Okay. Ooh, I thought I read past due amount, but we're not there. Good.
Yeah, that one I've just been having the regular monthly payments go through.
It went down a little. Right now we're at $17,175 at a regular monthly payment of $162.44.
Yes.
Now, how much did you have saved up so that these minimum monthly payments were able to go through while you were incomeless, right? Were you getting some kind of income still?
So I had enough sick time that for the entire 4 months that I was on FMLA, I was able to get paid 40 hours each week, except for the last 3 weeks that I was on FMLA.
That's still awesome, though.
Yeah, and so I had a lot of sick time that was able to keep me getting paychecks, and I was able to just focus on attending meetings and that type of stuff. But it did take me pretty much all of January and a little bit of February to catch up for missing those 3 paychecks at the end of December.
Sure.
And so But now I have my emergency savings of $1,000 in the bank, and then I also have $1,000 in cash at the house.
Sure. Okay. Now, you had an account balance in your checking account of $12,046 last time, and there were overdraft fees. Am I going to see overdraft fees here?
You will not see overdraft fees. Good. And I will also say that the bank actually gave me back that overdraft fee.
You got called up?
Yeah, I didn't even have to call them, but they just went ahead and did it. So, pretty crazy stuff.
Beginning balance was $5.
Yeah, that's the EECU, the checking account. I just have now 4% of my paycheck goes into that account. Last time I was here, it was just 2%. And that.
Oh, this is your EECU savings?
Yeah, the checking into the savings, and it's all together. And then I did also have a EECU loan that I took out whenever I got out of rehab to be.
Is that this?
15. Yes, that is that.
So yeah, we have more debt. Technically, we have more debt than when we started.
Maybe.
Oh yes, is the answer.
Yeah, yes is the answer. But I feel really confident that it was at a lower interest rate than even my Wells Fargo credit card. And with that,
the interest rate is at 15%, which is still death, insanity, kill me. But it's like, okay.
I know last year I was able to put $10,000 toward my debt before I came onto the show. And so I feel very confident that, easily by the end of the year, I will be able to have my Wells Fargo card paid off and that EECU loan, and then be able to just strictly focus on those student loans.
Okay. And here's the checking.
So just to preface the checking.
There's $11 in there.
Yes.
Like we're borrowing things.
And I know it started out negative as well. Whenever my paycheck comes in for my job, Wells Fargo puts it in my bank earlier, but it doesn't hit the statements. And so if it is negative, that's because I got paid and I went ahead and paid for a bunch of stuff. But there was never a time that I feel like I saw my checking account in the negative, and I usually check it every day.
Amazon, Apple bills, going out to eat there, the Vapor, Amazon, Whataburger.
It's like $3.
You don't get free meal. No, it was $7. They don't get. No. You don't get like free.
We get 50% off, and so that $7 was probably me going with somebody else.
Whataburger, that one was cheaper, but it's still money. Little Caesar, Starbucks, Whataburger. So our spending habits haven't changed, but I'm like, do I make you change your spending habits? Is now the time? Probably not, which is very complicated for this kind of show. Apple bill, Whataburger. It's hard because we didn't go through here in Temu. Terrible.
The whole Temu thing, I have never been on that bandwagon. I did finally decide to go ahead and try to shop on it because I had been buying Legos, and I was like, if I can get some cheaper Legos.
And how is it?
It sucked.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Temu one, it was not fun to do, and it was very difficult, the instructions, and so.
They've offered me enough money to be able to retire at this point to sponsor them, and I still refuse to because they're just absolute. I only allow sponsorships that I would actually use or do use. K Nails and Spa. For yourself?
Yeah, for myself, and then I also took a girl. It was one of those.
Hey, he's back out there, ladies. Watch out.
Yeah, she had taken us out the previous month and paid for us to both get our toes done and eyebrows waxed. And so I out this time so that way we can both get our toes. She didn't want to do her eyebrows. She has her girl for that, so.
Okay. $1,600. Ew, but we were drawing money from this Wells Fargo savings. Even though we technically have $300 more than we did last time, you're taking money away. But we do have debt, so maybe it makes sense. IRA is about the same as it was, and 401k is better.
Yeah, a lot better.
Automatic contributions, and the market's done better since you've been on as well, so that should help. So I don't know if it's from contributions. Yeah. You get 1.5%. It looks like.
No, so I think the last time I was here, I was doing the full Dave Ramsey 0%. That's stupid. Yeah, right. And so whenever I kind of got out of rehab and everything, I did switch it up to 10%. For a little bit, and then recently I've dropped it down to 6%. That way I can put the additional 2% into my EECU, so my car payment is covered every month, and then I still get an extra 2% on my paycheck, and so that change in percentage doesn't affect my take-home pay every week.
Gotcha. Okay, so I need to know, what is your goal from here, from what we can get here? Because we can do the budget, but, me yelling at your spending, what I would do for the typical person doesn't really make sense in your situation because, again, sobriety is what matters most here. Going crazy in the debt, does it make the most sense? No, even according to your own program, does not. So I want to know, what can I do? What do you want? What do you want to get from this?
I want to be able to get somebody else to make a budget. And have that be something that I can kind of live on and work on. It's one of those right now, I've kind of worked out a way to where I write down my monthly bills when they come out and my income. And I've been pretty good in terms of actually trying to kind of stick to it. Where I kind of have gone out of it is, that occasional Little Caesars.
It was like every other day that you're going out, to be fair.
That is a lie.
Well, no, that includes you also getting Whataburger.
Okay, well, that was at work, but...
I know, but it's still money going out.
Yeah.
Even if it's technically 50% off, it is consuming and spending money.
Right. But, yeah, I just want something that I can kind of work with, Right now, what I've kind of been doing is having my grocery budget of like $50 a week and living off that.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, it is pretty low. It's been a little tough at times to
that doesn't
make it.
Well, what's your income right now? Is it the same?
So income is the same. It's one of those after...
So 60?
Yeah, after 401k contributions, taxes, and all that stuff, my take home per week is usually like $750, around $2,900 a month. Per week.
$2,900. And then you get bonuses per quarter.
So the bonuses, no, they haven't restarted that.
Why?
I don't know.
Did they say anything?
No, it's just kind of been in the works up there that they're like, yeah, it'll start back at some point, but we just haven't seen any of it.
Come on, Whataburger.
I know, right?
People got lives. What's your phone bill?
Phone bill, $25 a month.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are you using?
So I use T-Mobile, but whenever I turned 18, I switched over to it, and then I've had a lot of my family hop on my phone plan.
So this is just your portion.
So that's just my portion, and it doesn't have the extra add-a-line fee or anything because I was the primary line.
Rent
$950.
Utilities, gas and electric.
Electric is about $60 a month now. I believe on the statement I had a larger amount that I paid, but that was because I used to do the average billing, and I went ahead and got off that and paid my deferred balance.
What about water?
Water, it's included in the rent.
Internet?
Internet is $70.
And renter's insurance?
It's $5 a month, but that's included in my rent price.
Oh, okay, cool. Your minimum monthly debt payments. Let's take a little look here. It's high interest, big balances. Not great. The first mark. Tough one.
Yeah, that one's rough. I usually do, I know it's a little bit less, but I do $300 a month on the auto debt.
Okay.
So.
And your minimum monthly debt payments are $735.10. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, and your average gas?
I've been doing about $40 a week, so $160 a month.
And car insurance?
Car insurance is $90 a month.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
$300 for groceries, $100 for toilet paper fund, anything else that you need. Subscriptions. I saw the Microsoft thing. Things that keep you away from addictive tendencies. I'm going to give you $30 there. Use it how you need.
That's awesome.
$100 in the TP fund. That's anything else you need to survive. Is there ongoing medications? Gym?
So yes, I do have a gym at Planet Fitness. It's like $28 a month.
Okay.
Sorry. And then as well, I don't remember what I was saying.
Medication?
Medication, yes. It looks like my monthly medication is going to be $32 a month, and then the therapist visit is $80. Not therapist, the psychiatrist.
Is how much again? 80?
80.
Okay.
That's with interest.
Anything else in your budget? That's what I have in terms of minimum necessities.
That's it.
Okay.
That $100, including toilet paper, is also going to include the litter and food for the cats. So
perfect.
And just while you're doing that, the cats are doing great. They aren't traumatized from the car crash.
Good.
Yeah.
Very happy to hear that. Yeah, it's tight. This is without you going out to eat. $2,660.10 to survive. I mean, gosh. Yeah, it gives us an extra $239.90. Did you do the budgeting program? Did you do it yet?
I feel like I signed up for it, but I don't fully believe so.
Do it, because I mean, this is a rough budget. We go through the rough, but what you're going to do is you're going to really go through every nitty gritty thing and come up with the best realistic budget for yourself. And with a margin of only $239, I'm a little afraid you might have a couple more dollars. You might have some less. It's like, it makes me a bit nervous. Because groceries, technically, with our grocery list and HEB, you can do a good meal plan, sustainable, healthy for $250. Yeah, because your total spending was $5,243. But some of that was considered savings, which, yeah, so.
Well, I try to just keep $1,000 in the savings account. So if there was extra money, that was just storage.
Yeah, not including the savings, you still spent about $1,000 more than came in.
Interesting.
Which
I don't feel like I spent an extra $1,000, but I guess that's just how it happens, right?
Yeah.
You know, they say pie charts are the most inaccurate way to display data.
Really?
Yeah. It's in my biostatistics book.
Interesting.
Yeah, they say bar charts are the best.
I do like a good bar chart.
Yeah.
But my eyes, they always gravitate towards the pie.
I mean, it just looks good. You know, reminds you of a pizza.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking pie. What? Okay, so I don't want you to work more hours. I also don't want you to go through a bankruptcy because two of the things here are student loans, so it's just like, doesn't even matter. And it's going to be also very stressful and kind of expensive to go through bankruptcy, so it's like, what do we do for you?
Don't see about going through bankruptcy. And whenever I do my usual monthly budget, the way that I have it written out, I see typically extra $540 a month.
Where was I overestimating?
Well, I only estimated rent at $900 as opposed to $950.
Why? You told me $950.
Well, that was before I've kind of lived in the apartment for a little bit. It's like $940 something, really. Food, I only have at $200, so I mean that's $100. And then credit card is close to $100.
Yeah, if you can, that's great. But you also ate out all the time and used Whataburger, so that's where you didn't have to spend as much on groceries. So, I mean, if you can live on this, that's great. And I gave you subscriptions as well, so that's just $30. But, I mean, what I would just start doing... What was the highest interest rate? Was it the Wells Fargo or First Mark?
Wells Fargo at 20.
Yeah. So I'd really just start... It's going to be slow, but I'm not having you work more hours right now. I'm not. But if we throw that extra $239... And let's just say that's still 2 years. But that's still progress. And then the moment you're in a better place and whatever, is in the program says you're in a better place and the person who's supporting you says you're in a better place and you're able to work more hours, then start doing that. That's great. Is it hourly or is it salary?
It's hourly.
Yeah, then we can start working more hours and then that's great. And hopefully the bonuses come back. If bonuses do come back like they say it is, throw them every time you get them towards the debts. Yeah. Once you start, when you can, without there being a decent percentage chance of you relapsing, then I want you to start working more and make this snowball go quicker, because it'll take 2 years to pay off the first mark, the Wells Fargo, which means it's going to take, the first mark's going to take like a decade, right? But that's why I don't like this conversation right now, because that's so doom and gloom, and that adds stress on this. And this is still not what you should be thinking about. It's still not the primary thing in your life. I know you want to make progress on it.
Yeah.
I see it in your eyes, and I would too. You are making progress. Well, right now you're not. You took out more debt. But you can make slow progress while you're dealing with the most important thing right now. And then when you're in the right place, you can double your speed by just bringing in... You can double your speed by bringing in an extra $239 a month. Bring in an extra $1,000 a month, and you quadruple your speed of paying off the debt. And that's really all it takes. So there is another side of this, and it's going to be good. How much longer do you think, in typical, for people in your situation?
Until...
That you think you might be able to pick up more hours. Not rushed. Is there like an average?
So Whataburger with managers now, because we used to get 50 hours a week with a lower pay rate, they upped our pay rate to be able to make the same amount in 40 hours. They really don't like us getting overtime. And so it would be possibly picking up a second job, which I've kind of looked into a little bit.
It's fine by me.
I mean, Chiba Hut's a great spot. I really like their sandwiches. And so it'd be really fun just to be able to go work in that environment. But it's also a cannabis-themed restaurant, and so that might be a little rough.
Okay, we'll talk to your sponsor about that.
Yeah.
You guys know each other best in terms of that. But when do you think you'd be able to pick up those extra hours without sacrificing anything related to your sobriety? I do not want you to rush into it.
I think I could probably really start thinking about it around 9 months. They say for the first year to not make any major changes in your life. So maybe 9 to 12 months. Well, 3 to 6 months from now. So.
Okay. Then that's where things will start taking off. You can make incremental progress until then, but I still want you taking care of sobriety first. So speaking of sobriety, we'll pay off that 401k loan if you've stayed sober. We did the test. Noah.
Yes, Dad.
Is he the father? Wow. Okay. So we're good. And I know you brought test results as well. So, have you, it doesn't matter for this situation. You've meet the requirements to get it. Throughout this entire process, have you relapsed at all?
I have not.
That's very good.
It's been...
I wouldn't have punished you if you did, but I'm very glad to hear that.
It's definitely been rough on some days. Some days are better than others. Some days are worse than others. But this whole experience, it takes a lot of work. And there are some times whenever I was really having some hard days that your external incentive was kind of the only thing that kept me sober.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Once I have my deductible met for the outpatient treatment that I have, it seems like that treatment is free.
Good.
And so I will for sure be continuing my outpatient treatment every week, probably through the end of the year. And so that'll bring me over 12 months of sobriety if I stay on top of everything like I should.
Do you have your Venmo?
I do.
If you want to bring up that QR code.
I don't have my phone on me. I left it out in the lobby.
Oh, you can go get it.
Okay. Or is Noah?
Yeah, Noah will get it.
All right, cool.
While he's getting it, obviously it's for the 401k loan, but it probably makes sense to throw out the higher interest loan either way.
And then
what's your plan? $1,700. I mean, you got it regardless.
Yeah.
What's your plan?
That's a rough one, because if it is just for whatever, I mean, the highest interest makes the most sense.
It does.
In terms of everything.
Well, it's also the highest interest, smallest balance, except for the 401k loans, the smallest balance. But in terms of where interest rates are, I think the Wells Fargo makes sense. I really do.
And so, I mean, if you're comfortable with Wells Fargo, then I'm comfortable with Wells Fargo.
That's where I'd be putting it.
Okay.
I don't like a loan against 401k, but I think this starts to make more progress. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure your QR code was off.
Okay.
Screen. Well, I was just thinking someone might be able to I don't want anyone to harass you somehow because people are lunatics out there.
Yeah, it does have my last name on it.
I'm going to call it Woo Woo.
Yeah, because woo woo. We did it.
Woo Woo.
And my family wanted to have me say thank you for treating me so nicely on the last one.
Well, you're welcome, family, but what's annoying is error, transaction decline. Please try again in a short while. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let me try to do it from my personal checking account because I don't care what account it comes from.
Wow.
There you go. Payment made, sir. Make sure you got it. Confirm it for everyone out there. Lift up your phone so...
That's there.
Hide things. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So...
Beautiful, sir.
He did it.
Well, again, adding a Hammer financial score. Not adding stress right now. We're focused on sobriety, but your sobriety score right now, 10 out of 10.
That's what I was hoping for. And... Oh, one last thing that if I can just talk about.
Please.
If you remember my application, whenever I came in for that first one, I said I was addicted to pugs.
Yes.
Yes, I thought that was hilarious.
Yes.
And, I said pugs, not drugs. Mm-hmm. It's on the hat.
Oh.
And then we got our sobriety date on the front of it.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Clara, Brandon, and I were very confused, and we specifically reached out to you because we did not know what pugs meant because apparently we're like 50-year-old Catholics.
Yeah. So it was, one of the best things that probably could have happened was that little typo. So I'm very thankful to be on the show and be able to have done everything.
Super proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Let's keep following up. Let's get you in a good place, yeah?
Yeah.